Leadership is one aspect which is required in every human enterprise, because without a leader there is no focus in doing things. What is leadership? The word itself is indicative of its functions. Lead, to lead means to show the path, show the way. The leader always shows the path and shows the way. Leadership is a quality which can be cultivated. Many a time people used to think leader is born leader. Leadership cannot be cultivated. It is a wrong notion. Leadership can be cultivated by practice. What does leadership involve? It involves 1. Taking responsibility. 2. Planning things. 3. Organizing things. 4. Monitoring things. And 5. Evaluating things. Taking responsibility means what? A leader will take a task on hand and takes responsibility for its accomplishment. That is, taking responsibility to do the job in a proper way. And to do a job, you cannot go in a shoddy-poddy manner. You have to be systematic. So if you have to be systematic, you have to plan. And that plan has to be relevant to the place, relevant to the time, relevant to the resources available, and relevance to the time available. Organizing. Now, once you have planned it properly, the leader has to organize it in what way, in which order things are to move and how to go about it. And after organizing it, he has to monitor it. He sees what is going on and how it is going on. If there are deficiencies, he evaluates the deficiencies and takes corrective action. These are the requirements of leadership. Leadership does not mean that you order around. I am the leader, go and do this, go and do that. Maybe there is an exception that in the army, military, we order. Go and do that, go and do this. No questions asked, no discussion, but the order is carried out. But that also has got an exception, because the leader does not stand back. He goes forward and he shows it by example. So therefore, leadership is not ordering it is by example. When we talk of leadership, there are 4 types of leadership. One is called autocratic leadership, about which we just talked. Military officers giving orders, that is autocratic way of leadership. Then second is democratic. You know, our country is a democratic nation. So all people come together and they decide on a course of action by consensus. By consensus means people agree on a certain course of action, then the leadership takes that forward by the consensus. It is not that everybody will talk and nothing will be done. For example, in the parliament, they decide, discuss, pass resolution, and based on that the government, say the Prime Minister, he carries out the orders as discussed and passed in the parliament. That is democratic leadership. And third kind of leadership is nurturing leadership. You find as a leader, a certain person has got qualities by which a job can be done in a better way. You encourage that person. You give a suitable job to that person so that the person does that job in a par excellence manner. So that is nurturing leadership. And the fourth kind of leadership is situational leadership. What is situation leadership? Situation leadership is that leadership which emerges out of the situation itself. Let us take an example of an accident on the road. Suddenly from nowhere, a person appears. He will ring up the police and inform them about the accident. He will call up the ambulance 108 to take the accident victims. He will tell the people to stand far away or give first aid if required for that victim. Now, who told that man to do all these things? It comes spontaneously out of the situation. That is called situational leadership. If a leader has to be a successful leader, what qualities he has to have? We have already discussed. He should have the quality of planning, taking responsibility, organizing, monitoring, evaluating, and taking corrective action. So, the leader who emerges harmonizes things. He brings in harmony. If there is conflict, if there is a clash of interest among the people, among the team which is doing the job, he harmonizes that. He encourages people where they are doing a job to do the job in a better way. He does not criticize. If there is a mistake or there is a drawback, he will draw attention to that, all right, but at the same time he is not critical, but he will suggest remedies and he encourages the person to go ahead and do it in a better manner. By doing this, a leader achieves the goal. We have umpteen number of examples of leadership. Gandhiji, when he was thrown out of the train in South Africa, he sat on the platform and he did not move. And people told him that, in South Africa only whites can travel by first class. You cannot travel as a black man. He said, it is wrong and I protested. And he protested it, sure. By example, people joined him, people follow it, and the non-cooperation movement, Satyagraha, was born from that. There is an example of George Washington. He was the first president of United States of America. Before that, during the Civil War, he was the general of the army. One day he was going on his horse. When he was going on his horse, he found a subordinate officer telling his men to take a log of wood which has fallen across the road. He was ordering them, take this away, push this, do that. George Washington got down from the horse. He went and stood near the soldiers. He said, I am standing with you. I will give you the timings. When I give you the timing, you act with me. I will say 1, 2, 3, push. Everybody push at the same time. He stood there, gave the timing, and he also pushed. Within no time, the log came to the side of the road. That is leadership by example. Gandhiji's leadership by example. When he went for Dandi March, he went alone. Everybody followed him. That is leadership by example. There are umpteen number of leadership examples we can give. Like for example, Winston Churchill, when he used to speak during the Second World War, he used to say, I promise you nothing but blood, sweat and tears. By that he motivated the people to work hard. They said, to win the war, we require to shed our blood, we have to sweat it out, and we have to be put to difficulties so that our tears come out. So these are the qualities of leadership. Leadership is not by birth. Leadership is by practice. By cultivating the qualities of leadership which we have reflected, one can become a good leader, and by practice one can excel as a good leader.